All right, I know everybody is on the edge of their seats. The third and final challenger's coming up. Cabell Maddux from Danville, Virginia. So he's a recent graduate of Wesleyan University, in case there's any alums who want to vote for him out there. And he's founder of Scholarships Expanding Education, often referred to as SEE. He taught himself computer programming in order to create the prototype for this platform and has been featured, and he and the program itself have been featured in Fast Company as well as Nation Swell. So let's, without further ado, welcome out Cabell. All right.
Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you so much, Emily, for that nice introduction. And I just want to thank the judges and everyone so much for having me here at MCON14. It was a little less than a year ago that I first started working on C at a friend's kitchen table in Brooklyn. And for the last 8 months, I've been working on the C project out of a cubicle at the Danville Regional Foundation in my hometown of Danville, Virginia. So Chicago and MCON14 and all of this here, these things weren't even on my radar. These things felt so far away from my cubicle back in Danville. So it's really refreshing for me to hear these awesome stories of innovation and social entrepreneurship and the future of philanthropy, things I've spent a lot of time thinking about over the last 8 months. And I'm so honored to tell you a little bit more about what I've been working on. So again, my name is Cabell Maddux, and I'm founder of Scholarships Expanding Education, affectionately known as C. Our mission at C is to empower a new generation of philanthropists for education. Through our crowdfunding platform at givenc.org, we help anyone create a named scholarship in honor of a loved one. We'll then provide them with the tools and the logistical support to successfully fundraise through their personal network and transfer their fully funded scholarship to an institution of their choice to be awarded to a deserving student. Now, my pitch today might be a little bit unconventional. I'm going to tell you a story. My hometown of Danville, Virginia is the quintessential small southern town. You might be able to tell a little bit from this accent I've got. Ashley Jackson is a 25-year-old admissions counselor at Averitt University, a very small liberal arts college right there in Danville. About 2 years ago, Ashley's friend Blake Dalton passed away due to complications from epilepsy. He was 24 years old. Blake was a Danville native and an energetic and beloved morning radio DJ at a local country oldies station. So in early February, when Ashley heard about our scholarship creation platform, she decided to create the Blake Dalton Scholarship in memory of her friend Blake. She designated the scholarship for an Averitt University student. She recommended that it go to a communication studies major in honor of Blake. And she set her fundraising goal at $500. So Ashley started off the fundraising process with a $50 contribution to the Blake Dalton Scholarship. Barbara Seamster, the manager at the country oldie station where Blake worked before he passed, then contributed another $50. Ashley's mother contributed $25. Ashley's boyfriend contributed $10. For me, Ashley Jackson is fearless. This 25-year-old admissions counselor at a small college in a small town in Virginia has entered an arena that is now more than ever this club of elites. Between 2012 and 2013, fundraising for higher education increased $3 billion. And at the same time, alumni fundraising participation fell to 8.7%. Over 90% of college graduates aren't engaged by their current support options. I think there's value in empowering a broader base of supporters of quality education. The opportunity to create a named scholarship has traditionally been restricted to those that can bring a minimum of $30,000 to the table. Sometimes that minimum is $50,000 or even $100,000 minimum up front. Ashley Jackson just can't do that. But these restrictions aren't the fault of the institutions. Having to manage fundraising for anyone that brings $50 or $100 or $150 to an institution's door is a logistical nightmare for institutions that I'm sure already have plenty of logistical nightmares to deal with. But what we can do is we can externalize those logistical barriers. At C, we can say, this is what we're going to focus on. This is what we're going to be good at. We're going to be good at helping Ashley Jackson utilize her unique set of resources to provide meaningful support for education. We're going to help Ashley use the resources of time, of social media presence, and of a cause that's near and dear to her, honoring or remembering a loved one, to galvanize her small community, to support students in need. And then we're going to make the process extremely simple for Ashley and for the awarding institution, so that when Ashley thinks of her friend that passed away 2 years ago, she can immediately turn emotion into action. She can create the Blake Dalton Scholarship in less than 5 minutes and get right to fundraising, because that's what's important. And once Ashley's scholarship is fully funded, we'll make it easy for her to transfer her scholarship to an institution of her choice, and we can make it simple for that institution to award Ashley's scholarship through their current gift awarding processes. That's what we can be good at, helping create these amazing philanthropic experiences. On May 25th, Kelly Kontakis contributed $60 to the Blake Dalton Scholarship. Kelly doesn't know Ashley. Kelly was simply moved by Ashley's cause. And that $60 contribution brought the Blake Dalton Scholarship to $500 flat. 10 days before the end of her fundraising period, Ashley Jackson, this 25-year-old admissions counselor in Danville, Virginia, had reached her $500 fundraising goal. This fall, Averitt University will award the Blake Dalton Scholarship to a deserving communication studies major on behalf of Ashley Jackson. That's our goal: provide the tools and the support for people like Ashley Jackson to step into this space that is traditionally controlled by the mega wealthy. Ashley is by no means wealthy. Ashley is fearless. Thanks so much.
That was great.
Thanks.
All right. So you got a couple of questions online coming in.
All right.
I think a couple of them address, and you sort of touched on this at the end of your talk and your pitch. How are the schools, are they receptive to this? Is it easy to give them the money to then translate to a recipient? How does that work?
So they've been really receptive so far. We've gone everywhere from a small Fuqua school in Farmville, Virginia, which is K-12 private school, has students on scholarship. Schools from that to we've given scholarships to like UNC Chapel Hill. And all the way through, they've been very receptive, and that's sort of the goal, is balancing the experience of the organizer of the scholarship with making it simple for the institution so that they can award the scholarship through their current gift awarding processes. So the idea is this is an unrestricted scholarship that includes details and recommendations. And the schools have been very receptive so far to those recommendations, because we've tried to make it as easy as possible for them to find a student that fits the organizer's idea for this scholarship and fits their sort of process.
That's great. How do you think this is going to scale? What is your best case scenario? What do you think is going to happen in the next year or two?
Well, I think I started this sort of just as a project, and it's had a lot of positive feedback. And so right now, this has been sort of bootstrapped, and I've focused on, my goal is to focus on making each user experience, like Ashley's, really, really meaningful. And I think that in the long term, that will grow. And I think on the front side, it's very scalable. The platform is automated. It's creating a scholarship is super easy. And fundraising is completely automated. And then figuring out, we're working on building into the platform on the back end, making the sort of transfer to the institution really seamless. And I think that's where the scaling comes from, is making that process and the connections with institutions, which are not always easy, making those connections seamless so that everyone understands how the process works.
That's great. Thank you. All right, and for those who got their questions online but didn't get them answered by the challengers, we'll be back in the Tumblr room right after this answering them. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's give them a round of applause.